Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? I hope y'all having a good day. I want you to be honest with y'all, right? A river can still be good and still not be God. And if your whole kingdom depends on one stream, then panic will always be one jot away. Welcome me for a second. Close your eyes. It's 1350. It's the year 1355, right? A kingdom sits beside a river. That river feeds the crops, fills the wells, moves the boats, and keeps the people alive. For years, everyone trusted. Then the water starts lowering. At first, it is quiet. Then the boats stop moving. Then the soil cracks. Then the people gather in the square and whisper, "Is the kingdom finished?" But the wise builder walks into the map room and says, "The river changed. The kingdom is still there. The river is not the kingdom." Right? You want stability, right? But you keep attaching your entire piece to one source, one job, one person, one platform, one opportunity, one check, one creative path, bruh. Yo, one version of how God has to answer. And when that river slows, you start mourning the entire kingdom as if it is lost and disintegrated. Joseph saw famine coming and built storages before the famine arrives. Wisdom does not just pray for rain. Wisdom builds systems for success and for seasons. Roman aqueducts, right? Aqueducts are aqueducts are civilization thinking. Water had to be carried, directed, and distributed, right? That is infrastructure. One of the most iconic billionaire rappers of all time, Jay-Z. One lane became many. Music, business, ownership, cultural positioning himself. Some hate you, some like you. That's life, right? A system of channels. One of the other greatest artists of all time who's a billionaire, Kanye. One sound, aesthetic, or public identity shifted, another world is built. That is how he always operated. He always changed his sound throughout every single project of his career. Reinvention is channel building. Read the Creative Act, 48 Laws, I'm telling you. In Proverbs, ants prepare in seasons. Small, steady, unglamorous movement, but that preparation becomes survival later. Panic comes from overdependence. When you move from a point of overdependence and you overdepend on something to happen for you, then it's not going to happen for you. When you are so obsessed with the outcome is not going to happen the way you want it to. But when you detach yourself from the outcome and focus on getting the thing done, and focus on being in the journey and being in the moment, in the process of actually working on the thing, you'd be surprised what outcome can come from that. When one thing becomes the only thing, peace becomes fragile. Because when that one thing breaks, your peace is gone. A kingdom thinks of systems, wells, storage, roads, channels, builders, trade routes, records, reserves. A kingdom does not survive because one river behaves perfectly forever. A kingdom does not panic at the riverbank. A kingdom studies the map. One river drying up could be information. Maybe the river was seasonal. Maybe the structure was too thin. Maybe you ignored other channels. Maybe God is redirecting the route. What? Hold on. Sidestep. This outfit is like chill but dope. I don't know why I just wanted to do that. I'm sorry. A dry river is not always punishment. Sometimes it is just a map update. Sometimes we need to update the map, bro. Like in Minecraft, you know how you update your maps when you build more things around your world? Update the map, bro. Update the map through your life. This is exactly how I'm learning to think, right? Not one river, not one path, not one source, not one mood, not one opportunity. I know I'm building something bigger than one stream. I don't have to explain the whole architecture to everybody no more. But I do know this. If one river slows, the kingdom does not die. Because I know I have multiple, ample opportunities to build more rivers. So the more rivers you have in life, the more income streams you have in life, the more creative streams you have in life, you will never fail. The abundance of the kingdom will never truly fail because you have so many backups that failure is impossible virtually, right? Loss and negativity is not a thought process in my mind. Do you see these things right here, guys? These things are what I use to guide myself every single day. Without it, I have no direction. So when I mess up, when I fail, quote unquote, when I have a setback, I know that I have these things to bring me right back to where I need to go. so I'll be okay. I have God, so I'll be okay, right? If one river slows, the kingdom does not die. It gets smarter. It gets more resourceful. It builds channels. I'm not building a life that collapses because one river changed. There are so many jobs, so many forms of income, selling, services, platforms, opportunities that I'm working on and trying, that I'm planning on doing. So many things that I want to do and move forward and push forward and positivity and creativity that I'm working on. But I'm not obsessed with any of them. I'm just focused on creating because I love creating. Creating is one of my favorite things to do. Being a person who motivates and inspires is something I love doing. I love this shit. This shit is so fun. I don't care if I'm not getting a lot of people watching right now, because when they see the backlog, you're going to see so many things that you have to watch, to understand from my perspective and my point of views. This is all natural, right? This is all me. This is what I think. This is how I try and live my life. And I think I'm doing a pretty decent job at it. So I'm always trying to help people out as much as they can. If you want to listen, then listen. If you don't, it's okay, right? There are iconic artists, Jay-Z, Kanye, artists who've expanded from one lane to many. Travis Scott is another. You know, so many artists who have taken one thing that they are really good at and were able, with the opportunities that were brought to them, to expand into multiple sources of maybe creativity, of income, so many things, right? Music becomes fashion. Fashion becomes culture. Culture becomes ownership. And ownership becomes infrastructure. That is the way to true success and wealth in life. Whatever you start off with becomes one thing. Then one thing turns to another thing. Then that becomes the culture. Then the culture becomes ownership. And once you own something, that becomes infrastructure. That becomes IPs. That becomes all these other aspects that we feign to learn. And that is why so many of us get messed over in these contracts and all these other things. Because we tend to forget that in order to achieve infrastructure, we need to achieve ownership. In order to achieve ownership, we need to build culture. We need to influence the culture. In order to influence the culture, you need to build things that can be of influence in a healthy kind. Having a room that's a map, right? A builder does not cry forever at a dry riverbank. He reorganizes himself, resets himself, and thinks of more ways to build more rivers that can flow into more lakes, that can flow into an ocean. And y'all know oceans are infinite, right? He studies terrain. He finds wells. He cuts channels that do not work. When the river changes, the builder does not quit. The builder redirects water. What river have you mistaken for a kingdom? Let me ask you that. A person? Maybe it's a girl you like, a guy you like. Maybe it's someone that you liked. Maybe it's someone that you relied on. Maybe it's one of your friends. What river have you mistaken for your kingdom? A job maybe that you wanted really badly, that you were so focused on getting, that when you didn't get it, it broke you and crushed you into a million pieces. A platform that you're on. We tend to do that a lot, social media, right? A relationship, a dream, a version of success, not being a successful person, thinking of success, right? A plan. If it slowed down, would you lose direction? Or would you build another channel? That's the real question. If one of those things or all those things were to slow down, would you lose direction or would you build another channel and come back? Right? Do not confuse a source with the source, with the source. Do not confuse one source with the source, right? That's God, and that's you after that. He's the source in all capitals, and you're the source. He's a God, and you're like a demigod. You know what I'm saying? You're under him. But he can make you just as powerful, just close enough, just really as powerful. He can make you very powerful if you just govern under him, right? So when one thing dries up, my nigga, breathe, bro. We tend to forget to breathe. Chill. Relax. I'm telling y'all this, I'm telling myself that while I'm telling y'all this. Chill. Relax. Vibe out, bro. Chill. God got us, man. We good. We locked in. We're good. We're chilling, right? Do not crown panic. Don't panic. Relax. If you mess up, don't panic. You're going to be good. You're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. Do not declare the kingdom dead. Look at what remains. Look at what can be built from the rubble, from the ground zero. Think of 9/11. If America stayed on what happened in 9/11, we'd be so far behind. But now look at us, right? It may not be perfect. No, we're close to it, right? But we were able to build up, and we're even trying to build a second World Trade Center. So think of how far we came versus if we allowed ourselves to stay in that one moment. Myself, there's so many times that I could have let one event, one thing happen, one emotion determine how I move for the rest of my life and determine my kingdom. But I chose not to. I chose to work on myself. I chose to rebuild myself. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to rebuild yourself. Be someone that you truly want to be, and trust God. Don't trust nobody else but God. Don't trust nothing else but God. Trust yourself as well, though, because part of it is trusting yourself as well. Right? But don't worship yourself, right? Look at what can be built. Look at what can be redirected. Find the wells. Open the map. Build the next channel. My camera's about to die. But to end it off, I want you to remember something. The rivers can always change, but the kingdom that you're building is still going to be there if you stay focused and stay focused on that kingdom and idea and vision that you have in your life. Love ya. Peace out.